I reached back out to Justin Frazier. How would you like for me to work for you guys for 4 months for free? And he's like, wait, you get to work for us for 4 months and I don't have to pay you a dime? Like, where do I sign up?
What's going on, DeRosa Insiders? This is Matt Faircloth, and welcome to the Cashflow Digest. Like I said, my name is Matt, and my company is the DeRosa Group, and we are a super awesome, super proud company that's doing great things, including transforming lives through real estate. That's what we do. So we got a great show for you guys today. So all you friends here, I want you guys to come meet one of my very good friends, okay? And this very good friend of mine is someone that I've known for a good bit now. He's going to tell us how he met DeRosa, why he's a big fan of DeRosa, and why he is shaking things up in a good way at DeRosa Group. Let us meet I won't even say what he former is. He'll tell you all that. Let's meet DeRosa team member Eric Lizama. What's up, man? How are you?
Going on, Matt? Hey, glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here too. Is this your first appearance on the Cashflow Digest? Have you come in and done a segment or sucked you into this thing yet?
But I was a guest at one point for like 15 seconds. I think it was.
Yeah, you were lucky enough to get sucked in for a brief segment,
exactly.
Not for the whole thing. Lucky you. Now you get to be a guest on the show. You've dodged the bullets enough, man. Now you're here. So now we get to pick your brain and talk about all things Eric. So Eric, man, for those that don't know you, that haven't met you yet, tell our audience here a bit of your backstory. Tell us all about you, and then we'll hop into having a chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks for having me, Matt. It's welcome, a pleasure to be here. So my name's Eric Lizama. I've been with the company now since I think it was August of 2022. I've been in the Army for over 20 years, about 24 years. So I'm a U.S. Army retired Army officer. I started off as a military policeman, securing the gates, going out on patrols, doing all that. And then in 2005, I went to flight school, to the Army flight school, and became an Army pilot. And I've flown for the Army for the past 18 years. I got into real estate about 2016 in the single family world. And then right after my last deployment, before I retired, I attended the first Bigger Pockets boot camp facilitated by the DeRosa Group. And that's how I found you guys. Investing in single family. I do this boot camp, and you guys are talking about apartment syndications. I'm like, I don't even know what a syndication is. I had to look it up. Like, what did I sign up for?
Google that, right?
Yeah. A few months into it, I got to learn you guys a little more about how you are as business owners and as people. And I really connected with y'all. I learned a lot from you. And I knew right after that course, I wanted to transition from single family to multifamily. It was you guys who made that transition for me, who put that aha moment in my head. Fast forward about a year, I got into my first syndication as a limited partner, really because I knew I wanted to become a GP eventually. So becoming a limited partner was really my way of educating myself on the perspective of a limited partner and what that looks like and feels like. Fast forward again, about another year, I reached back out to Justin Frazier, and I tell him, like, hey, Justin, like, you know me, I know you. We've been talking for a couple years now. I'm retiring from the military. There's this program that the Department of Defense is offering. It's an internship program. How would you like for me to work for you guys for 4 months for free while I still get paid by the Army? And he's like, wait, you get to work for us for 4 months and I don't have to pay you a dime? Like, where do I sign up?
Hey.
And that's where it all started. I started with you guys as an intern for asset management, project management, whenever you guys needed me, I was there for you.
There's a lot to unpack here that I want to throw out there, right? First of all, Eric is always very humble. And so I want to just throw out, when you were flying vehicles for the Army, which vehicles did you fly?
So I flew the Apache, H-64 Deltas and Echoes.
Those are two different kinds of Apache?
They're the same Apache, different versions, different capabilities. You can do a few more things with the Echo. It's a more modern Apache. It's the most modern Apache in the fleet.
Yeah, and that's an Apache over your head right there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
right over the head.
Cool helicopter. I had one of those as a toy, a G.I. Joe toy, one of those when I was a kid. And so the Apache's always been a really, really cool vehicle. And so you flew the Apache helicopter for the Army. And I just wanted to just let people know, that's just awesome. I think it's just cool. And it's probably every little boy's dream to get to fly around in a big old helicopter like that. So you lived a lot of our inner child's, or, our inner soldier's desires, right?
It's funny because it's like flying the Apache in most respects. It's like what you do, right? Everyone only sees an hour of what you do, and everyone's like, man, I want to be just like Matt Faircloth. But they don't see what happens in the other 23 hours and all the work that goes into it.
Careful what you wish for, man.
Exactly. So like flying the Apache, it's great. It is so much fun. I wouldn't change it for the world, but that's like 1 hour of, you don't see the prep time. You don't see the study time. You don't see the examination time. You don't see the time where you're getting shot at.
Right. The time that you're getting shot at, the time that you're sitting on the tarmac for 3 hours waiting for the day you can take off. Right. Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. It's just, you're right. It's just like multifamily. We tend to glorify things in life and in the world, right? And people tend to put apartment building ownership and real estate investing, as we do, up on a pedestal in that. And there's other educators out there, not DeRosa, that play into that misconception of what real estate ownership is, right? They're over there like, hey, buy a Ferrari, get a Ferrari, and here's me on the beach because I'm a real estate investor and I'm on the beach. Look at social media. There's people out there like, oh, I'm a real estate investor. I just drink coffee and drink lattes and just sit on the beach and drink Mai Tais and this, right? They're playing into that misconception of that's what real estate investing and ownership and whatnot looks like. There are certainly those moments, and I've had my share of lattes in the middle of the day and my share of Mai Tais on the beach, but that is not what this business is, So yeah, man, interesting. And that's not what DeRosa does. We'll get into talking about the DeRosa education programs, but we try and teach people for real what it really feels like to own properties and, keep the Ferrari,
Yeah, absolutely. It's not how to get rich quick at all. There's a lot of work,
certainly
a lot of sweat, blood and tears that go into building wealth.
Can you back up? Again, another thing I wanted to unpack in your intro was the program that you were on when you joined DeRosa, because I can't, you and I have been at conferences together. I've hey, pitch on the spot in some ways, like, Eric, why don't you tell my new friend here about that program, right? Because these are vets that we'll talk to sometimes, like Army and military vets that did not know about the program that you're talking about, right? Sometimes, but I think the world should hear more about this for two reasons. Number one, it's a opportunity to give our veterans a new career, because you don't retire from the Army at 65, 70. You retire from the Army at 40, 30, 35, 40, 50, 45, somewhere in there, right? So you got plenty of life left in you. There's plenty more, contributions you can do back to the world. So you might as well get into a new thing, right? That's number one. And number two, it's a great way for a company like DeRosa to bring somebody in who's super seasoned. Any company should dream to have someone that with as much military experience as you have, because the level of organization you brought to the DeRosa Group, just a bunch of cowboy yahoos that are just, shooting the lights out, figuring it out. And you've come in and said like, all right, y'all, sit down. Everybody sit. Matt, get in your seat. Everybody get in your seat. All right, let's all do this together. We're all going to go in unison like this. And the ability to organize and herd cats, so to speak, some of that of who you are came from military experience. So any company that's looking to get to the next level should have someone's former military in their company. There is such a level of organization that folks like you can bring. So for all that spiel, tell us a little bit more about the program and how people find out more about it. How do they perhaps even find someone for their company or participate in it if they're in the military themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the Department of Defense, they have a program. It's the internship program. Some will also call it a skills bridge program. That's kind of the buzzword on it. It's the skills bridge. And for the most part, for a veteran, the reason why it was started is the Department of Defense started noticing numbers. They track their data with transitioning veterans from military to civilian life. And they've started noticing a big number or a big increase in homelessness, in depression, in suicide,
Absolutely.
Right? All that leads to just getting support. I know when I was transitioning, I had a lot going for me. And I'm very fortunate because a lot of veterans don't. And even though I had a lot going for me, I still felt a sense of like loneliness and like kind of what am I going to do when I get out? What am I going to get into? How am I going to continue to support my family? And it was still a hard transition for me, just mentally. So I could imagine everyone else getting out of the military. So the DoD, because they've seen this spike in increase in all these in homelessness and depression and everything else, one of the reasons was it was hard to get veterans to transition out and transition their experience into civilian life. So with the internship program, they basically said, hey guys, for anyone getting out of the military, we're going to offer you anywhere from 2 to 4 months of an internship, a paid internship for you to transition your skills from military to the civilian life. It's your ticket to experience what you want to get into and see if that's something you like before you actually get out. So now you're not wasting time. And again, by the way, it's already paid for. You're continuing to get your active duty pay, and the employer doesn't have to pay you. So it's a win-win. So that's exactly what I did. So you can either as a veteran, you can either pick from a list of companies who they already have, who they're already working with. So as a veteran, I can be like, I want to go with that company, and then I'll interview with that company and do the internship. Or you can do the longer route, which is what I did, where I picked the company that I wanted to work for. So I had to reach out to that specific company, i.e. the DeRosa Group.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do a little more work as far as paperwork, interviews, and everything else, getting all the paperwork accepted. So it's a little longer for what I did. However, you as a veteran, you don't have to go with what the DoD is providing as far as the list. You can reach out to a company that you want to work for and do that program that way.
Yeah, and that's what we did. You brought it to us saying, "Hey, I want to work for y'all, and here's how we can do this." And that is a great way for us to date till we got married, because at the end of the day, it might not have been a good fit. It was a phenomenal fit, but it might not have been. And we could have said, "Hey, great. Got you, here's a great project you worked on for us. Grateful for that. Gonna let you go and go find something else. Thanks for your time. Here's a letter of reference, whatever," right?
Absolutely.
Let's say somebody here watching wants to either hear more or post their company job with that program. Is that something that somebody could do? Like, can they just say, yeah, I'm hiring, looking for an investor relations manager, looking for a project manager, looking for XYZ. Can they go and post a job posting with those they're coming out of the military?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They can do that. I mean, right. It's all about outreach. It's all about who you know, right? Not necessarily what you know, but who you know. Yeah. So definitely get out there, network, post what you have, put out what you need.
No, but is there like a posting page, like, militaryjobs.com kind of website that somebody could go to if there's an employer that wanted to take advantage of this program? Is there a singular one-stop shop place that they go, or is it not that organized that it's all one?
No. I mean, there's a lot of bureaucratic red tape, right? There's a lot of hoops that you as a company or as an employer have to jump through in order to meet the standards of the DoD internship program. So yeah, it's not an easy one-step deal. You have to get vetted. You have to get interviewed. There are steps you have to do. So the easiest way for an employer to do that is just reach out, through social media. Let people know in your network that you're looking for that position. And anyone who's transitioning out can always reach out and do exactly what I did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. So now, that's great. Good to know. Thank you for helping me highlight that program, because I think it's one of the most amazing things out there, and I think more companies should take advantage of it. Just not just because it connected us with you, but because of all the reasons that I said, right? Yeah. Benefiting a vet and also benefiting a company too. So, all right, what's it been like in being this military stringent, 0500 guy, and coming in and as I said, a bunch of cowboys, maybe it's a bunch of cats, maybe it's a bunch of crybabies. I don't know what we are, and whatnot. But what has it been like making that transition from military to civilian life and working, with a company like ours where everybody's remote? I mean, you and I, you're sitting in Florida, I'm sitting in Pennsylvania right now, right? What has it been like working for a remote small business in transitioning away from the military lifestyle, which I'm sure is very, very different than what it is here?
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to call it lucky, but throughout my military career, I tell people I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I've led small team from 2 to 3 people to being a commander of over 500 people or being a director of operations on 5 different regions or 5 different countries at once. So I was very familiar with the remote side. I'm very familiar with going into a new environment
Mm.
and looking at the operations as a whole, looking at the systems and the processes that are established and refining that, fine tuning it, and making it better before I leave. So coming into this company specifically, through and through, I'm an integrator, right? I'm an operations guy. So I remember when I first came in with DeRosa, you and I had a meeting. And that meeting was, hey, Matt, this is me. This is what I can provide to you. This is what I want out of the program. And you graciously opened the doors to every department within the company for me to look through and fine tune anything that I could, any projects that I can get into. So it was a fairly easy transition for me. The biggest part was the experience in the military side, the actual experience in the military side. Would that actually transition into the civilian sector? That is really what worried me. But through a few months of working with you and the team, that transition was really smooth. So I was really lucky in that aspect.
Good people, right? It's a great company, but it wasn't like a culture shock or like you fit well into the DeRosa culture, into the DeRosa machine because of who you are, not because you military training or whatever, right? But aside from that, there wasn't like being in it with a company where sometimes people show up a little bit late. I don't know who does that, and everything like that. And there's just not the same standards or protocols. Or even in lingo, we tease you sometimes at our company because you'll show up using your military lingo and whatnot, and acronyms and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, hey, Eric, you got to, we don't speak military, man. We need you to translate.
Yeah.
So have there been any other transition points that were either interesting, funny, challenging, enjoyable, whatever, in going from military to working, for a small business for profit?
I guess it's really just the lingo, right? It's the civilian. It's just that civilian lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the lack of structure, because there was definitely structure in DeRosa. It's just a different type of structure. Different. Right? Like when I go into meetings in the military, like if 10 o'clock is the start time, you show up 15 minutes early. You talk and socialize and prepare for that meeting, and at 10 o'clock you start. Whereas in this world, 10 o'clock is where everyone starts to just chime in or check in
and then we chat and all that.
And I'm just like, guys, we're already behind. Let's go. Let's get to work. Come on. But I think the important part was expectation management, right? Everywhere you go, it's all about expectation management. What am I getting into? Who are the people that are involved?
Yeah.
And again, just going back to expectation management, that's really all it is.
Yeah, cool. Got it. You mentioned something that I've been always thought about, right? I don't know if you and I have ever spoken about this. There's a little curveball here. You mentioned integrator, right? And so for those that don't know, there's 2 terms that are from the book Traction, right? Phenomenal book, phenomenal concept on how to build a business, right? And the concept is that there's a visionary, and I'll paraphrase it and put like the Faircloth sauce on this, right? That there's the visionary that's out determining which mountain the company shall climb, right? And which direction the company should go. And we're going to do this, but not that. We're going to go here, but not there. The visionary also has other, key roles such as, closing key relationships, fixing problems. Like if there's hey, something's on fire over there. Are you aware that there's and then the visionary, and a lot of times can come in with a wacky idea that fixes the problem, right? And whatnot. And kind of like, runs like, they're like think tank. They're big think. On the other side of it, there's the integrator, right? And the integrator is there to implement the vision that's instilled by the visionary and to say, okay, yeah, you want to climb that mountain? Great. Here's the resources I need. Here's how long it's going to take me to do it. Here's who I need on my team to make it happen. And here are the likely obstacles and reasons why we probably shouldn't climb that mountain. Because in Traction, it also says that of all the great ideas a visionary had, 19 of them are bad ideas. And it's up to the integrator to say, hey, here's the reason why ideas number 1 through 19 are terrible, right? And why we'll absolutely sink like that Titanic if we do one of those things, or why they're not right now ideas, right? Now, idea number 20, I love. And here's why I love it. And here's why I think we could do it. And here's the plan on how we're going to implement that, right? So,
yep.
Okay. that's the explanation of visionary integrator. Let me know how I did. Now, for you, right? You are a good integrator. Are all military, ex-military folks integrators?
I'm not going to say all. No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Is there the visionary integrator concept in the military?
In the military, I don't think there is. No, definitely not.
Yeah.
You
You
kind of have
are
to
a
be
great
both.
integrator. You are a phenomenal integrator. And I've always thought that the reason you were able to do it was because of your military training, what made it so natural for you. Because if I may, what seems to me the military doesn't necessarily have a visionary per se. The visionary is, like Big Brother up here,
Yeah,
telling you, Eric, you're going to go and fly that helicopter over there and do what you're going to do and run these exercises.
right.
And you don't ask me why, because I'm not going to tell you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
That's
matter
it.
why. It matters
Yeah,
why, because I said so, right?
right,
And so your job is to integrate. And the visionary, in some ways, is the chief executive, the CEO of the nation, which is the president.
right. Yeah, it's
The
the
president
president, the
says,
secretary of defense. Yep, those are the
right,
visionaries, right? And
all of
we are
them,
the
right?
integrators.
Yeah, and then you've got like a couple 100,000 integrators sitting underneath like a few, like a handful of people up here that are saying we're going to climb that mountain over there, right?
Right.
And so that's the concept of how. Am I right about that concept?
Yeah, I mean,
About
yeah,
that?
for the most part, we kind of break it down a little bit differently,
Of
right? So
course.
there's that chain of command,
Mhm.
not necessarily a visionary or integrator, but there's that chain of command, and you have like two types of leadership. You have direct leadership and you have organizational leadership. With direct leadership, you're in front of that troop, you're in front of that company, and you're leading by example, right? You're like, hey, follow me. That's your direct leadership. You graduate from direct leadership, you go into organizational leadership. Now you're the person behind the curtain, and you're looking at this operation. Who's planning the operation? You got to think about the personnel, right? Building the team. You have to think about the resources. Am I giving this company enough resources to accomplish their mission? Am I giving them enough time to plan in order to execute that mission? So that's really where I'm focused now, is the organizational leadership part, where I'm behind the scenes making everything happen and ensuring everything, all the gears are turning in the engine, right? So that's the organizational leadership piece.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. But the I think that most companies that need, I cannot tell you, because I run around in circles where it's just a bunch of visionaries, right? And you put a bunch of visionaries together, they will talk about the best ideas ever, about
Right?
how we should colonize the moon, and let's all go buy real estate on the moon right now from my computer. And ideas like, do you remember a while ago? I mean, it's kind of gone by the wayside, but for a while there were these online with people with the VR goggles. There
Yeah.
was like online real estate, and you
Right,
were
right, right,
buying
right.
real estate in these online communities and whatnot. That's total visionary thing, man. Just a bunch of visionaries with nobody checking them came up with that
100%.
idea, right? Like there was not an integrator in the room when that idea came out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hey, this is a dumb idea. What are you going to do with that real estate? Why
Just
can't I
visionary with a lot of money.
Right. Why can't I just make another community exactly like that over here? Why
Yeah,
why is that limited? It's not. Right. Anyway, I hang out around a lot of visionaries in organizations like GoBundance and my entrepreneur circles and stuff like that. And the biggest problem these people have, and they will tell you the problem that they have, is that they are unchecked and they need someone to help them implement their ideas and help them to carry forward their missions. Some of these people are just lazy and they don't want to do the work anymore, and they're wealthy enough that they think that they should just be able to hire somebody to do
yeah,
the hard stuff, and that's out there too. But there is such a need for the integrator concept in the entrepreneur world, and that it's said that Walt Disney would have gone bankrupt like 10 times had it not been for his brother, who nobody knows the name of, but his brother was the integrator. And
yeah.
Walt didn't even look in the bank balance book. His brother was like the accountant for the company and kept things running well, and is really the reason why Disney is what it is today.
Mm.
And there's many other examples you can think of, like Charlie Munger for Warren Buffett.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
he was the real brains of the operation. Warren, had lots of great ideas, but actually the actual making it happen part, So yeah, that's why I believe that any good company should consider a former military, because just military folks make great integrators. It is what it is. That's why I think. Your thoughts? Any other thoughts to throw on
No,
top
no.
of
I
that?
mean,
Yeah.
we understand the mission, and we get it done. That's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, good stuff. Now, tell us a bit about your role at DeRosa, what you're up to now at DeRosa, and all that, and then we can talk more about what's next for you and all that. But yeah, tell me more about what you're doing now, how it's going, that whole thing, the DeRosa journey after we decided to bring you on board, hand you a big glass of Kool-Aid and all that.
Yeah. So after the internship ended, I think it was November or December of 2023, I came on full time as the DeRosa Group's education product manager. I know that the DeRosa started with like a mastermind. When I came in, we looked at what this community offered in terms of education, and we really tried to identify the gap in the industry. And we wanted to fill that gap with not just transforming lives through real estate, but also helping other real estate investors do what DeRosa does. So hence like the 90-day accelerator program with what we have going on now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's been great having you be the driver. And in a lot of ways, the reason why the program is what it is because you're the program manager of it. And in essence, like, we got this factory that produces phenomenal education, and Eric is everything from quality control all the way up to the plant manager in that, and making sure that we're making good product and making sure that we're thinking about new things that we should add on the product level and education. So
yeah, absolutely. So in the military, obviously I was an Army officer, so I was always in leadership positions, right? I wasn't just an Apache pilot. That wasn't like my 9 to 5. That was the 10% of what I actually did on a day-to-day basis. But one of the jobs that I had to do in the Army, I went back to flight school as a platform instructor, where I would instruct flight school students. And then I became the Army's flight school course manager. So I actually had a program of instruction that I would manage. I had like 15 to 20 instructors. So going from that life and what I did there and what I learned, I actually implemented into the education program that we have here. So I actually used that and helped to build this program that we have now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did. And I think that you brought a lot of that vibe, a lot of that juice. So what's next? What's the Eric Lizama next step, right? I mean, I at DeRosa, and everything like that, like you've been able to help us get the educational program, running. It's likely, I know it's not your only thing. You're also running projects, including DeRosa was just at best ever, and we could not have done it without you. We wouldn't have shown up as strong. We would have limped in the door had it not been for you, right? And you're running special projects like that, among other things, right? Like what else, where do you see yourself growing into in your career as real estate, here at DeRosa or beyond? What is, like, give me like a few rungs on the Lizama ladder that are in front of you.
Man, there's so many things that are going through my head as far as getting to that financial freedom, building generational wealth for my family.
Yep.
But I guess like the 5-meter target right in front of me is what can I do for the DeRosa team? What's next for me with the DeRosa team? Mm-hmm. That's kind of that 5-meter target that I'm looking at. So right now it's continuing to make our education product better for our students, making it better for our future students, right? Because the last thing we want to do is just put a product out there and just let it sit and just go with it. So we're continuously fine tuning. We're refining what we have. We're receiving feedback from current students. We incorporate surveys or end of course surveys to make these courses better. But I think the best part about that with refining is even during our day-to-day operations within the team, within DeRosa, we do things where we're like, man, that is a great topic that we should add into the course. Like that's not there yet. This is something that we're working on. We should definitely add it to the course. So we're continuously refining. So one thing as far as my 5-meter target is really continuing to refine the products that we give out to our students and making it that much better. But the other part too is to eventually transition into helping out Justin and Tara with asset management, right? Yeah. As the portfolio grows, because we're continuing to grow, managing those assets and utilizing my military experience operationally to transition into asset management and going full force into that.
Yeah.
Now, what's after DeRosa? Like who knows, right? Like in terms of what's next, I'm kind of like you, like a visionary. I'm always thinking about what's next. What can
Yeah.
I do? What can I get into? Who can I network with? And how can I continuously grow my own business forward?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that like it's good to think in, to use your meter analogy, right? Like your 5 meter goal, and then your 50 meter goal, and maybe your 500 meter goal, right? At the end of the
Right.
day, right? I tend to allow, for me, I go backwards with it, right? Like I like to think about like, where do I want to go, down the road. My wife likes to use the horizon analogy. Like if you and I are
Okay.
out in the ocean and we're just steering our little boat, right? I'm like, okay, well, what part of the horizon do we want to go to? And this is envisioning us like out in the middle of the Pacific, nice calm Pacific Ocean. We could go in any one direction we want, right? And we could, swim or drive our boat in one here toward to get to that point all the way out where the ocean touches the sky, right? You're never actually going to get there because as you move
Hmm.
towards it, that horizon point, moves out, right? But it's
Yeah.
good to define that this is the place that I want to go. It's what I want life to look like. My vision, my long-term thing. And then what I do there, they call it like my 5-10 year goal. I break that down and say, okay, if I want to, let's say somebody watching is like, I want to own 1,000 units and make 20K a month and achieve, a passive income and legacy, anything like that. Got it.
Yeah.
There are gurus out there that will tell you that by the snap of their fingers and by just joining their program and paying them one low price for their guru program, you too can own 1,000 units and everything like that. We
Yeah.
all know that we're starting to see the cracks in that foundation and
Right.
the untruth that is, because what we would teach our students and what we teach myself too, in that, like, if that's what you want, great. Let's rewind it. What's life look like a year? What would you need to do in 3 years to get to that in 5? What
Yep.
would you need to do in 1 year to get to that in 5? And what would you need to do if where you need to be in 1 year is here? What do you need to do in the next 90 days? And everything like that. So I tend to think about long-term stuff. And the long-term horizon I'm swimming toward all the way out here can be a little fuzzy. It doesn't have to look exactly like, I don't have to have the exact picture. I can say, well, it's got to be in this range, or it's got to look like this, or maybe it's so big of a hairy, audacious goal that it just feels maybe a little out of reach, but at least, I could see myself there one day. Right.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And never be afraid to change that goal, right? Like as
yeah.
life changes, like your goals change too.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
always being flexible with that.
That's one of the things that we teach our accelerator students in that, like, and that's part of the onboarding. Like, what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
give me like what life looks like in an ideal scenario. Where are you, in that? Before I let you go, tell us a little bit more. And our ghost in the machine, the puppet master of the Cashflow Digest, Nabiku, has already put a link here for you guys to hear more about the accelerator program. So guys, please do check that out. But Eric, tell those that are watching here why they should consider the accelerator for their real estate goals. Again, not your guru's program. This is a real program. If you guys want to architect a business for yourself, join DeRosa Accelerator. And Eric, tell them a little bit why that is.
Yeah. So great question, man. So as I was going through my own educational journey, right, going from single family to multifamily, I paid for courses and I saw what these courses were. And I attended some really good courses. I really did at really good price points. But there was always something missing.
Mm.
There was always something missing with the education that I received. I liked X, Y, but they didn't have the Z part of it for
Yeah,
the lack of
yeah.
better terms.
It's just a capital
So,
raising school. That's it. It's how to
yeah, right,
find
yeah,
deals,
yeah.
how to
It's like
buy
the shiny
100 units,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
shit, what if you buy 100 units and you're running into the ground? How about that? Like
Yeah,
how about like you raise
exactly.
a bunch of money from investors and then you go and lose it,
That's
Like, yeah.
that's exactly it, right? Let's
Yeah.
get rich quick now, and here's how to capital raise, and that's it, and that's your course.
Right. That's it.
Or here's an underwriting tool, go figure it out, and thanks for your money. But again, for us, I'm just in a grateful position where I can mold this course for our community. So a couple of things that I think we do better than most, right? Is yes, we have resources just like everybody else, right? Yes, we probably give a underwriting tool just like everybody else. Yes, we have recording modules just like everybody else. But really what I'm proud of that we as a team built for this community is that it's not just it's not just like once a week, like, right? A lot of these courses, maybe it's once a week, maybe it's just online, maybe it's once every other week. We have very consistent touch points, right? So the first thing we do is it's not a cookie cutter course. It's like, hey, who are you? What is your business? Where are you trying to go? And what are your goals? We take that, we do a deep dive with you and your business, and we develop a plan with you. We let me rephrase that. We get your plan and we help you refine your plan and your goals, and we help you to get there. The other part that I really love is one, so there's the one-on-one coaching. We do that deep dive in the beginning. We figure out who you are, what your business is, where you want to go, and we provide you with one-on-one coaching throughout the course. But I think just as important is our weekly office hours, right?
Yeah.
So what are weekly office hours? They're daily touch points. So we give you recordings, we give you resources to do your homework. We provide a community, a chat community for you online. But more importantly, we give you direct access to the DeRosa staff on an almost daily basis, right? Like, I don't know any other course that provides that. Like, you get that one-on-one time with Matt Faircloth. You get that one-on-one time with Hervé Francois. You get that one-on-one time with Justin Frazier and the rest of the team. And just like I said earlier, we're continuously fine-tuning, because in the beginning of our course, Matt, if you remember, you do your office hours with capital raising, and majority of our students would go to you. But we had a very weak marketing lesson plan, right? And then we brought in a phenomenal marketing director for the team.
Mm-hmm.
We put her in office hours, and all of a sudden now here is where majority of our students is spending their time, is how do I market my business? How do I do
Her
it
office
correctly?
hours have become the most attended office hours, as
The
I
most
understand.
attended, right? So like,
Yeah.
we're not just giving you a recording. Here's how to market your company. Here's the best SEO out there. No, it's like, here's how to do it. Here are the steps. And oh, by the way, every single week you can talk directly to me and bring your problems to me, and we're going to work together at it. So we're really, really looking at the person, the business, and how to help you along your journey.
I think that, like, what I'll say to bring it home is that, like, there's many other programs out there that put like a guru up on like a hill and say, like, okay, you want to buy lots of multifamily, just come listen to the guru and he'll tell you what to do, right?
Right.
Well, okay, it's not real. It's not like that. No company's run by just one person, right? And anybody that presents themselves to be the end all be all solution that come listen to me, because I will tell you what there is to do in real estate investing, is full of it, right? They are, because you can't do everything that there is to do in multifamily investing. You can't do all that there is to do to be successful, right? What you can do is build a team of people that are great at different things, right? And if you want to learn how to become a great real estate investor, don't listen to just one person. Listen to a team where it's like, okay, Hervé's really good on the acquisition side.
Yep.
Nate's good on the underwriting side. Listen to Matt on capital raising. Listen to Justin on asset management. Listen to Jess on marketing, right? That is that's a more accessible concept than there's some hippie on the hill that's telling you all the knowledge that they've had, and they're just walking on water into the education room to tell you what you ought to do. You want to go to that? That's fine. There's plenty of sizzle programs, but our program is very little sizzle and a lot of steak, like the real meat of the program and what you can actually eat and consume to grow your business. Not a lot of flash. I don't drive a Ferrari. I don't even want one in that. So anyway.
Yeah, that's very true, Matt. Because again, we preached on building your team, and not only do we preach on how to properly build your team out, but we give you access to our team, right? We put you in front of the subject matter experts in that topic. I think that's very important. It's not just one person teaching you everything or two people teaching you everything. No, it's our subject matter expert teaching you that topic every single day, every single week, as we continue to give you more resources and more face time to build your business.
Fact. Eric, thank you. Great summary here, man. The DeRosa would not be where it is without you on the team, man. It's really grateful to have you on the bus with us, and lots of great things we're going to create together. Tell us if you'd like to bring us any closing words or how people can learn more about you. What do they do, or anything you wanted to bring it home?
No, I mean, really, all my social media links are posted already. Check it out. If you want to get hold of me, you can always get hold of DeRosa. I'm here. That's all it is.
He's here. DeRosa. Come join. Just go to DeRosa website. There it is. derosagroup.com. That's how you find Eric. All right, Eric, grateful to have you on board, man. Grateful to have you part of the Cashflow Digest. Thank you for your contributions to the company, and thank you for your contributions today. And thank you for your contributions. You don't get thanked enough ever. No veteran gets thanked enough. Thank you for your contributions and your gifts to America, to our country. Thank you for all the hard work you've done to keep our country safe and to keep it what it is. So grateful for all the work that you've done here for the country, for the world. Blessings, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
All right. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Guys, great conversation. It's just great to work with good people and to have a great team. If you guys want to build yourself a great team that's not just you, go to derosagroup.com and check out our education products. There's stuff for free. You want free? That's cool. We got free. Go to derosagroup.com/education, free tools, and you guys can see all the stuff that we have there, or just surf around the website. There's plenty of free stuff there. And if you guys really want to get serious about your business and make a financial investment in yourself and in your company and take yourself to the next level, we want to help you get there. We're looking for a few good operators that want to get to the next level for their businesses. So come join the many thriving operators at the DeRosa that are a part of DeRosa Accelerator now. That's what we got, guys, for the Cashflow Digest. Come join us next week. Those of you guys watching on Spotify, thank you. And come join DeRosa Insiders on Facebook. Thank you. See you guys.